Hi. So it appeared that there was a lot of interest on future stuff. And there'd be loads of stuff coming out through the channel on that because some of these stories are really classic. And this one that I'm going to share with you now is literally that. It's a priceless gem of how we used to operate on the futures exchange. Let me backtrack a little bit. When you first joined the futures exchange as a runner, there was a strange little ritual. Well, there's a few, but there was one particular one that we had to all go through, and that was called the shark. And if you were new, sooner or later, you were definitely going to get bitten by it. Okay, so let me set the scene for you. Before electronic markets took over, trading happened face to face in huge pits. Hundreds of traders, especially in the Bund pit, probably a good 250, somewhere around there. Phone brokers, everyone shouting orders to and from the pit, runners sprinting from the booth to the pit to collect the cards from the trader to go back to the booth to match up the tickets. That sounds really easy, right? Trust me, on a fast market day when there was a rate cut or a rate hike and the market wasn't anticipating it, holy shit, did things get out of hand really, really quickly. That's another story anyway. The runners wore a yellow jacket, and that was kind of like their uniform, as was like if you had a coloured jacket on, you were a trader or a broker working for a certain company. And the colours represented the company. Very on brand. But yellow meant one thing. You were the lowest on the ladder. And if you were new, you better be thick-skinned. I'll introduce you to the ritual. One of the classic initiation pranks on the floor was called the shark. Someone would take a trading card and they would cut a thin shape. So they'd just cut an edge off the card, but then they'd bend it at the end and cut a little slice in it. And then you'd be able to just slip that under the collar of the runner's jacket, because they were like a blazer. Softer material, but always quite stiff collars, which is where somebody obviously came up with this. So as you slid that card under their collar to connect them, they wouldn't feel a thing. And then suddenly, you had a shark on your back. Okay? It's so tragically childish, it's unbelievable. So then, the setup, right? The head runner, I had this done to me by my best friend and my head runner at the time. He moved on to be a trader, as we all did. He would send you on a false job to go and collect the cards from the booth over there. Usually, surprise, surprise, the furthest booth that they could get you to. Off you go, nice and innocently, running across the exchange, completely innocent, completely unaware, with a shark fin sticking out the back of your yellow jacket. The moment. At first, nothing happens. Then, holy shit, someone notices. A trader looks up and shouts, "Shark!" Then another one sees it, "Shark!" Suddenly, you've got dozens, if not hundreds, depending on the circumstances, of traders yelling, someone laughing, someone pointing, someone getting right in your face, screaming, "Shark!" Now, you've got to remember, the futures exchange was a huge room. You know, there was probably about 3,000 people down there, right? And you've got no idea what's going on, why you're being called a shark. I mean, what, you know? And then the realisation. Eventually, someone kind, usually a trader, who remembers when it happened to them, walks up behind you and he flicks the shark fin or pulls the shark fin off and hands it to you, right? and says something like, "Congratulations, you're one of us now," you know. It probably wasn't as movie set as that. It was probably like, "You fucking idiot." But anyway, and that was it. Initiation complete, right? So childish. But everybody went through it, you know. You'd never get away with it nowadays. It's a massive HR problem. This is 25 years ago, 26 years ago. Looking back on that now, it honestly sounds ridiculous. But those little rituals mattered because the trading floor was intense. Pressure, noise, money moving every second. And humour, even juvenile humour, was part of how people coped. But if you survived the shark, you probably survived the pit. You know? It was a different era, different markets, but incredible memories. Really incredible memories. And if you know, you know. And there's a few of us still out there for sure. Be well, be safe. I hope you enjoyed that.